At some point in life, silence stops feeling empty. It starts feeling full. When you're younger, silence can feel uncomfortable. It creates tension. It makes you feel like something needs to be filled. A comment, a joke, an observation about the weather, anything to break the pause. Because early in life, silence is often interpreted as social risk. If no one is talking, something must be wrong. Maybe people are bored. Maybe they're judging you. Maybe you're supposed to say something. So you talk. Not always because you have something meaningful to say, but because quiet feels like exposure, and exposure feels dangerous. But something changes over time. The older you get, the more you start noticing how much of daily conversation isn't really communication. It's noise management. People narrate obvious things, repeat familiar opinions, fill space with words that disappear almost instantly. And once you start noticing it, it becomes hard to unsee. You begin to realize that silence is not the absence of connection. Often, it's the absence of performance. And performance takes energy. A lot of it.
Every conversation requires small calculations. Tone of voice, timing, facial expression, agreement, disagreement. Your brain is constantly processing signals, even when the conversation itself carries very little meaning. Psychologists call this social cognitive load. Your brain is working to maintain harmony, interpret cues, and manage impressions, which is why you can leave a room full of people and feel strangely exhausted, not because anything dramatic happened, but because your nervous system has been working the entire time. Silence removes that workload. When two people can sit quietly together without tension, something interesting is happening psychologically. There is trust. There is safety. There is no need to constantly signal approval or engagement. Silence becomes a shared environment instead of a social problem. But getting comfortable with silence requires a shift in how you define connection. In early adulthood, connection often looks like activity, talking, sharing stories, exchanging opinions. It's expressive. Later in life, connection often becomes quieter. It shows up as presence, two people walking without commentary, reading in the same room, driving without filling every minute with conversation. Nothing is being performed, and yet the connection is still there. Sometimes it's even stronger. There's also an interesting neurological shift behind this preference. As people age, the brain becomes more selective about stimulation. Your tolerance for constant input decreases. Noise, interruptions, and chaotic conversations require more recovery time. Silence, on the other hand, gives the brain space to regulate itself. It allows your nervous system to reset. Think of silence as psychological oxygen. You don't always notice it when you have enough of it, but when it's missing, you feel it. Constant talking environments can create subtle stress. Open offices, endless meetings, background chatter. None of it feels dramatic on its own, but over hours and days, it accumulates. Your brain never fully powers down. Silence interrupts that cycle. It gives your thoughts room to stretch out instead of colliding with everyone else's. And something surprising happens in that space: clarity. When external noise drops, internal signals become easier to hear. Your own thoughts stop competing for attention. Your intuition becomes louder. Your observations sharpen. Silence isn't just peaceful, it's informative. Many people discover that some of their best ideas appear during quiet moments. Walking alone, driving without music, sitting with a cup of coffee before the day begins. The brain finally has room to process. But there is another reason silence becomes more appealing with time. You become more aware of how much conversation is driven by social obligation rather than curiosity. People talk because they're supposed to, not because they're learning something, not because the discussion is evolving, just because silence feels awkward.
Once you realize that, forcing conversation can start to feel strangely artificial. You're no longer interested in talking just to avoid quiet. You want conversations that actually go somewhere. Depth becomes more interesting than volume. Fewer words, better words, and sometimes no words at all. There's also a subtle confidence hidden inside silence. When someone feels the need to speak constantly, it often signals discomfort with stillness. Silence can feel like a spotlight, but when you become comfortable with it, something shifts. You stop treating quiet as a threat. You treat it as neutral space. This changes how people perceive you as well. Interestingly, people who speak less are often perceived as more thoughtful. Their words carry more weight, not because they are necessarily wiser, but because scarcity changes perception. When someone talks constantly, each individual sentence loses impact. When someone speaks occasionally, people listen more carefully. Silence creates contrast. It turns communication into a choice instead of a reflex. There's also a psychological boundary hidden inside quietness. Not every thought needs to be shared. Not every observation needs commentary. Not every moment requires explanation. Learning when not to speak is a form of emotional intelligence. It means recognizing that some experiences are complete without narration. Sunsets don't need analysis. Music doesn't require explanation. Some conversations are better felt than discussed. Silence preserves those moments. Of course, preferring silence doesn't mean disliking people. That's a common misunderstanding. Many people who value quiet still enjoy deep conversation. In fact, they often enjoy it more, because when conversation finally happens, it's intentional. It's not filler. It's exploration, thoughtful discussion, curiosity, reflection. Silence filters out the unnecessary so that the meaningful stands out. There's also a practical side to this preference. As responsibilities increase in adulthood, your mental bandwidth becomes limited. Work decisions, family concerns, health considerations. Your brain is already processing a lot. Constant conversation adds another layer of stimulation. Silence, in contrast, reduces cognitive demand. It allows recovery. Think of it as psychological maintenance. Your mind requires moments without input in order to stay balanced. Without those spaces, stress accumulates quietly. And many people don't realize how overloaded they are until they experience real quiet. A long walk alone, a silent morning, an evening without screens or chatter. At first, it may feel strange. Then it feels calming. Eventually, it becomes something you protect. You start choosing environments differently. Restaurants that aren't too loud, conversations that aren't purely performative, moments that allow breathing room. You don't avoid people, you avoid unnecessary noise. And once you discover how restorative silence can be, your tolerance for constant talking drops significantly. This isn't withdrawal, it's refinement. You're not rejecting the world, you're selecting how you experience it. Because silence, when chosen deliberately, is not emptiness, it's space. Space for thinking, space for observing, space for simply existing without commentary. In a world that often treats constant expression as a virtue, preferring silence can seem unusual. But psychologically, it's often a sign of stability. You no longer need to prove engagement through words. You don't feel pressure to entertain the room. You don't rush to fill every pause. You trust that presence is enough. And that might be one of the quietest forms of confidence there is. Not the loud kind, not the performative kind, just the simple comfort of sitting in a moment without needing to change it. Because sometimes the most mature response in a noisy world is not a better argument, it's silence.